Hi, John Kane here. Thank you very much for choosing to view another John's Front Porch. This is John Kane. I think of myself as an authority on homeotherapeutics. I've been at it 30 years now, and I would very much like to share some of the wisdoms that I have read, studied, had shared with me over the years. In this film, I'm going to discuss potency. Hope I can get through this without having to start over again and get flashcards or 3x5 cards. This is getting into very difficult, very complicated, and sometimes very hard to get across to people. Let's get started with potency today. In homeotherapeutics, and I'm using the generic term now for micronutrition, homeopathics, Bach flower remedies, Schischler's tissue salts. These are substances that are used in healthcare that have no or very low amount of biologically active herbs or chemicals. They're energy signatures. They're very much like a recording tape, very much like a radio. If you think of potencies as turning up the volume on a radio, not having several radios turned to different stations, but turning up the volume of it. Plugging in 3 or 4 radios plugged into the same station, tuned to the same station, and set at the same volume doesn't accomplish anything. So potency has to do with an energy signature and the volume of the signature. There are standard chords, resonancies, just like playing a musical instrument. You can take a frequency like C, and you can play it from a very shrill to a very bass, but it's still the same tone, the same frequency. So that's what we're dealing with. It's physics, it's not biochemistry. Just like with a musical instrument, there are certain harmonics. There's certain places that make beautiful music, and there's certain places that make dissonance. This is very much involved in homeotherapeutics. There are standard frequencies, standard chords that are used in playing this wonderful healthcare frequency that we're going to intake into our body through the mucous membranes of the mouth, not through the stomach. That's why you chew them, and they are absorbed into the nervous system, into the nerve fiber. This frequency travels down the nerve fiber until it reaches a synapse where chemicals and energy frequencies are commingled. On the other side of the synapse, both the chemical information and the energy information are reconverted into frequency going down the nerve fiber until the next synapse. So let's get started with some of the details, and if you have a piece of paper and pencil, it's going to be easier to review later. There are standard chords that are used: 6, 12, 30, 200, then the professional levels, 1,000 and above. The professional levels should never be used by a non-licensed professional. Anyone who's a non-licensed professional who suggests 1,000 or 1M, take it multiple times a day, take it till the bottle is empty, doesn't know what they're talking about. And you should carefully examine who you're seeing, and I very highly suggest that you find someone else. So as a whole, 6, 12, 30, and 200. Each number represents the amount of times that the substance has been amplified. Not how clean it is, not how purified it is, but how many times it's amplified. When we get into manufacturing the remedies in another tape, and we get into the first generation and the second generation matters of manufacturing, you'll see that this makes a difference, how many steps. But now we're only going to talk about the amplification. All homeotherapeutic medicines, remedies, when they're finished and sold to you, are a vibrating frequency, an energy signature. Each of these signatures are for a different type of problem, for a different type of helping you with your health care. You may find products that are other than 6, 12, 30, 200. There are dissident chords of, you may see a 9, you may see a 15, you may find a 60. These do not work well. The 9 and the 15 are usually of French origin, because in France you can only sell up to the 30th, and so the marketers and the manufacturers have decided 2 more marketing niches would be nice to have. It's got nothing to do with helping you. This has got nothing to do with dowsing, it's got nothing to do with channeling, it's got nothing to do with muscle testing. It's hard facts. A number of years ago, a manufacturer named Baron funded a study in one of the most prestigious universities in the world in France, the Pasteur Institute, to do a test on what if there really is frequency, if homeopathy really exists. In this test, in this experiment, they decided to take and measure the amount of reaction to an allergy, and that will tell if there really is something working. They took a quantity of blood from a person, they took an allergen that that person reacts to, and homeopathically prepared it from 1 to 1,000, and they saved every one of them. They added, the patient is not involved at this point, there's no placebo involved. They took and added a quantity of the allergen to a sample of the blood and counted the allergic reactions. They found that the allergic reaction continued to happen after there was theoretically no allergen involved. I'm speaking of Avogadro's number. I'm talking about 10 to the 23rd, and they found that 10 to 1 dilution, all the way up to the 30th potency, continued to get an allergic reaction that was measurable. So as they went along, doing the 1, the 2, the 3, on up through, they found that there was a very strong reaction at the 6th, building up to it, falling off after it, going down to virtually 0, reoccurring at the 12th, reoccurring at the 200th, reoccurring at the 30th, reoccurring at the 1000th. So it showed very clearly that the 6th, the 12th, the 30th, and the 200th were the places where the strongest homeotherapeutic reaction occurred. Not at the 9th, not at the 15th, not at the 60th. These are myths. So when you go to buy remedies, only buy the 6th, the 12th, the 30th, the 200th, and professionals may give you the 1M or 1000th beyond it.